What's going on, good people? It is your man Dante Miles back in the building for episode 8 of the High and Outside podcast. As you all know, you can follow me on Twitter at OctoberZoneTay and follow the Barber's Chair at Barber's Chair Co. on Twitter and Instagram. Make sure you subscribe to the Patreon at patreon.com/Barber's Chair Network. We have 4 different tiers, all very affordable. Come shop with us. Come enjoy all of the content. For any merch, we got hats, we got t-shirts, we got sweatshirts. It's about to get cold in a few months. We got some time, but you still want to get your hoodies now. Get them while we got them, bcshop.com, bcnetshop.com. And for all things Barbershop Network, make sure you shop at thebcnet.com. That's for all articles, all podcasts, everything that we do on this amazing network. Make sure you check in with us at thebcnet.com. We got the full crew today. Let me go ahead and bring everybody in because we got a great show for you. Courtney, how you feeling?
I am off the injured list. She is back at full strength. Not gonna lie to you, feeling a little burnt out. Playoff runs are exhausting. I'm tired, boss. That being said, I'm not ready for it to be over.
Yeah,
so
I must say
the tides turn because I'm on mental health watch. I might need a grippy sock vacation if this goes down tomorrow at home.
Yeah, I know. No, pulling double duty is
be a part of another
during the playoffs
when I'm not on the receiving end.
That's valid. I certainly respect that. Malik, how you doing, bro?
Man, I'm doing good. Just got back from watching a little bit of Rangers, Blue Jays. Got to speak with Kevin Gosman earlier today. Of course, one hit for the Rangers tonight. So same old. Not watching a lot of offense. Whole lot of pitching.
Yeah, that's been the story for y'all lately. Sid, how you feeling, bro?
The exact same way Courtney feels, minus employment, but in basketball version.
Oh yeah, it's been tough for you, brother. I enjoy basking in your downfall as a Chicago Bulls fan.
It's over?
No, it's over. It's over.
No, it's not.
Over.
Shut up. No, it's not.
Over. It's 3-1. It's over.
It's
not.
not.
LeBron James ain't walking through that door.
My team is down 3-1 right now. It's never over until it's over.
It's done.
Defend home and home ice. How about that?
Let's just say we'll have a lot more Wednesday shows going forward. But no, good luck to both of you. I truly mean. I truly mean that. Speaking of good luck, though, man, let's go ahead and get the show started. This first guy, this one is tough. I feel like we've eulogized this player a few times, but we are back there again. I'm talking about none other than former White Sox shortstop Tim Anderson. Was a guy who was pegged by many to be one of the new faces of baseball. Someone that the league not only, got behind, but they were actively pushing him. I feel like it's been almost a decade since the Field of Dreams game where he hit the walk-off against the Yankees, and we had Bob fucking Costa saying a guy like this should be the face of baseball.
Was that like 3 years ago?
It's longer than that.
No, that was like 20. That's 21 or 2022.
Yeah. Also, again, my perception of time. I'm just getting old. I guess
2021.
It was like that was like 3 or 4 years ago. I guess it is 2025. But that feels like that was just yesterday, basically. Damn.
Yeah, but no, he was like I said, it feels like forever. He was DFA'd by the White Sox. He ended up with the Miami Marlins. Things didn't go well there. We thought a change of scenery would be the reboot he needed. That didn't work. And then, he was signed by the Los Angeles Angels, and we all said, okay, bet he's going with Ron Washington. We can work on the defense, try to get the power back. We heard the reports from Ron Washington telling him to get in the weight room and different things like that. Just trying to see what they could do to salvage what was left of his career, because you're talking about a guy who was a all-star, Team USA for the World Baseball Classic, and again, back-to-back division championships with the White Sox, really seen as a cornerstone of that franchise. And like I said, he was DFA'd today. The Angels, who aren't playing, they aren't world beaters right now, but they've been playing a little bit better baseball, and they decided that, unfortunately, his time there was over. And so once again, this is something that has been shocking to see. I think when we look through history, we always have guys who are quick flashes. But when you have a guy who flashes to one of the best players in the league and then suddenly falls off a cliff and we don't hear from him anymore. I know with Davis from the Orioles, his was a little different because the league wouldn't allow him to take his ADHD medication. And so because he couldn't take his Adderall, that literally destroyed his baseball career. But with Tim, it's been more off the field issues, the crowds he's hanging with, the situations he's put himself in. And he even acknowledged that took a toll on him as a baseball player. So I'm going to swing it to you, Courtney, first. Just your thoughts about TA getting DFA'd again. And is it over? Like, is this the end of it for Tim Anderson as we know it?
I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready to say that it's like officially over. I think the days of him being like an everyday shortstop might be over. Mind you, defensively, he actually wasn't that bad with the Angels this season, but he did have a 499 OPS in 90 plate appearances with the Angels. So again, just the defensive work, just not enough to keep him employed. I don't think I'm ready to say that it's over. There's always going to be the need, I think, to a degree for, a veteran shortstop, at least in your system, That being said, yeah, it doesn't look particularly good for him right now. And again, that is very much a shame considering he's only a couple years removed from, winning batting titles in Silver Sluggers.
Yeah, like, man, all of that so far away. And it's like you're talking about a guy who was hitting 320 like back-to-back seasons, like lining up talking about being one of the best contact hitters in the game. Sid, how you feel about TA? Is it over?
That meme where it's like broken could be fun to fix though? That's kind of where your laugh is infectious, dog.
That's mad funny though. But I feel that broken but could be fun to fix.
Like, yeah, it could be fun to fix, but like, a broken product is a broken product.
I maintain that Tim Anderson needs to be somewhere that like there are no distractions. And I mean this with all due respect. That man has no business in Miami or Los Angeles. I need him somewhere.
Not even like Anaheim either. Like you can't be in Anaheim.
The Iowa Cubs, okay? Like send him to Des Moines, maybe some like Oklahoma City, like anywhere but.
I mean the thing with it.
Scott would disagree with me here. Scott Lewis.
No, it's some hoes in Minnesota. But no, anybody with no self-discipline, you can't take them nowhere. Like, let's just be honest about this. And you're rich, you're gonna find them. But yeah, bro. No, go ahead, Sid. My bad.
No. Like I said, could be fun to fix, but like, come on, man. Like, especially at this point in the career, like you said, Courtney. There's always going to be a need for a shortstop because it's by virtue of veteran presence. Position, like you probably want the guy who's been around the game if he's not like the best, like he could probably end up somewhere and end up on the diamond and be able to be like, hey, this is a situation where like, am I going to be great again? Maybe no, but could he hit like 260 maybe with like a OPS that doesn't start with a 4? I would really hope so.
Also, he's only 31, Sid.
We're the same age?
He's not.
He's young. He's not
like
old,
37 or something. He's literally only 31. I think he made his debut in 2016? Question mark.
Okay, so that just tells me he was way too old to be getting punched in the face because, like,
yeah. And again, what we really lost in this, I know we touched on it in our group chat. What we really lost in this is that we're not going to see them get to go up against the Guardians.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, maybe there's some, there's something behind that too. Like they're just like, maybe it's just not worth it.
Yeah, no, it's crazy, G. Malik, how you feeling, bro? I know we've kept a close eye on TA over the years, and like I said, really tried to help push him as one of those new faces of the league, but unfortunately, it just didn't work out that way. How you feel about this whole situation?
Oh man, if Tim doesn't go see multiple sports psychiatrists, because I was talking about it with people earlier at the game. Baseball, with it just being such a mental game, and like your greatness has you failing 8 out of 10 times, 3 for 10. They say you're a Hall of Famer. I think that I think that Jose punch kind of put the bow on the ribbon for Tim Anderson's career. I don't know if he shakes back. I don't know if he gets it done in America. I honestly think he might need to go to China or go to Japan or something to get it done. There's just the lack of power and just the swag. The swag is all gone. You saw it start to fade away after the I don't want to call it a scandal, but after the thing came out where he messing around with his wife, and then I think his real downfall, even before the punch, was the White Sox didn't trade him. Like you said, he was on Team USA. He played second base on Team USA. That was an audition, a tryout for any team. Hey, I'm not a shortstop anymore, but I can be serviceable at second. They never made the move, and you could tell there was just something up with that White Sox team. And it came to a peak when he gets knocked out on the field, and nobody's there to help him. And I mean, the Angels, they're a team filled with young talent. I don't think you can get as much as we question Joe Adele. I think you give guys like that and Schumann and like Kyron Parrish just the upside factor. They're younger than Tim. I don't know. Maybe a team like Tampa can save him if it's in the big leagues. Like you said, a minor league team, earn your keep down there. I don't think he should be above that at this point. He hasn't played. I don't think he's played any minor league ball throughout all this drama that he's been through. I think we saw our best of Tim Anderson, though, if I'm being completely honest. And he's going to have to go and reinvent himself. He is only 31, is young, but if he's not an extreme plus defender at that age, with his lack of power and lack of contact and speed, he's not Chandler Simpson on the base pass, helping you out in that regard. So I would lean towards that we're not going to see Tim Anderson again in major capacity, of course, but we'll have to see. It definitely is a sad fall off, and just goes to show that you literally experience the highest of highs with that Field of Dreams walk off to literally lower than the lowest of lows in baseball, sports in general. I mean, hell, I've never seen that shit. I've never seen anybody get knocked out like that. So.
Yeah, no, it's rough. But like I didn't mention it, but you are right. The knockout punch was pretty symbolic for everything he's been going through. The Hey Jackie, I feel like it's just been knock after knock where people tried to rally behind him, but I mean, at the end of the day, the performance just didn't match up to all of the hype that he had been given. And so now we're seeing the results of that with him going, being DFA'd. He'll probably be released tomorrow, and we'll see where it goes from there. So, I mean, we all definitely keep our eye out on it. We're definitely still rooting for TA because he's at 31. He should have a lot of baseball left. There's no way that your career should be over because of this. But that's something we're going to have to keep an eye on, and we'll see what happens. This next guy and this next team, we talked last week about the Detroit Tigers and how great they've been. We, touched on Skubal, the Javi Baez, which is crazy to say Javi Baez's name after we just talked about TA, because now I'm thinking about that.
I was thinking the exact same thing. I was thinking, like, what dualities at this point of their careers,
insane,
with the two Chicago shortstops. Yes, that is exactly what I was thinking. Like, when I opened the notes, I saw that. I was like, yo, yes. Like, I was like, yo, Javi, Detroit. Oh, man.
Yeah, bro. But like I said,
I love
him. Like I said, Javi's reinvented himself. But I mean, the man in Detroit, as we all know, future. If his agent has his way, future $400 million man, Skubal. He has been dominant, and this week he really gave us a treat. You know how I feel about pitching. He threw a Maddox, but it wasn't just a regular Maddox. And for those who don't know, a Maddox is a complete game shutout where you throw under 100 pitches. He threw the first Maddox in Major League Baseball history with 13 strikeouts. Last pitch of the game was 102 miles an hour. Like, so we want to talk about cruising and dominant. Like, again, if you love pitching like I do, I suggest you go into the MLB app. Go back and watch that game again, even if you watch the condensed version. Like, at this point, the game is so great. I would rather you watch just the whole game because he's moving like that. So it was next level, bro. So let's get into a little Cy Young talk. Courtney, I know we both picked him at the beginning of the year, but is Skubal a guy that we could see go back to back with Cy Young awards, which is extremely difficult to do?
Yeah, he would be. Again, I know, Dante, you're a big Pedro guy. He would be the first back-to-back American League Cy Young winner since Pedro won back-to-back in 99 and 2000. So that would be massive. But yeah, I absolutely think that he could win again, even though he doesn't necessarily have the best numbers, I guess you could say. Like, again, there's different pitchers throughout the American League. And that's actually something I wanted to ask you guys. Is there, okay, before I ask that question, there's a lot of pitchers right now in the American League that I think are fantastic. Down in Kansas City, Chris Bubich has been fantastic. Obviously, Max Fried has been dealing in New York. What's his ERA right now? Like, isn't it like sub 1.3 or something crazy right now? But no, I mean, someone's bound to falter at some point. What is it?
1.29 for Max
Fried.
Fried.
That's crazy, by the way. Again, not to disregard what he's doing at all. But again, I wanted to pose a question to you guys because obviously there's some crazy stuff happening both, with pitchers in both the National League and the American League. I think I'm struggling to make a sweeping statement, right, and a generalization. But I think we're seeing a lot of success out of pitchers in the American League because the American League is just not that good this season. Would I be crazy to say that?
Not at all. I think that's one of those situations where people don't look at it like that, but that's the reality. Like sometimes
the talent difference when I'm watching, it's stark to me, and that's no disrespect to Skubal or Bubich or Fried or anything that they're doing. Like, obviously, pitching at this level is incredibly difficult, and I don't want to discount that by any means. But also, I'm just not moved by the talent that a lot of these teams in the American. I'm just not moved. I'm not moved.
No, it's very real. Sid, how you feeling?
Yeah, I kind of agree. And it's not that obviously pitching is the talent that it is, but again, like for as dominant as Tarik Skubal is, the ERA is 2.28, something to that nature.
2.49 right now through 11 starts.
Exactly. Yeah, the numbers. Obviously, that's an ugly number for a Cy Young caliber pitcher, or at least to this point of the season. But the AL clearly is not as dominant in that regard. But again, what Tarik Skubal is doing is absolutely ridiculous. Just because, just to have again the power and the smoothness behind the pitches and everything like that, like having that two combinations of things, it's like watching the Justin Verlander of old, where he had the Jacob deGrom-esque velocity, but with the traditional Justin Verlander power that looks like it. And so what he's doing there is fantastic. It's beautiful, and what the Tigers are doing, it's great. And I would love to see them run through the AL just because they deserve it. Like, let's get championship something back in Detroit because I hate the Pistons.
Yeah, I mean, deserve is strong, especially when we're talking about Detroit. But I mean, I'll let it slide for right now. Malik, how you feel about Skubal and everything going on in the D right now?
Man, I mean, he probably could have thrown 200 pitches that night, revving up for 103. That was just a light toss day at the ballpark. But like Courtney said, it was against the Guardians, who don't have the most fierce lineup in baseball. Still a division opponent that you've seen a lot. There are a few guys I think that can rival him for that Cy Young. I think he's going to have to continue to have games like he has to securely lock that up. Like we talked about, Max Fried, 1.29 ERA. I'm down here in Texas where we don't hit anything. They hit worse than the Rockies, but they pitch. They pitch like they have the 90s Braves rotation. 1.56 ERA for Nathan Eovaldi. I believe Tyler Mau's ERA is around. It began. He pitched Wednesday night tonight. It was 1.8. He went 7 shutouts, 6 shutouts, so I'm sure he'll be at 1.5. Jacob deGrom's doing his thing. Again, like you said, Bubich out in Kansas City. His last 6-7 starts, he's been amazing. So it's not going to be a runaway from Skubal. Do I think that he's going to be out there starting in the All-Star game? Most likely, yeah. Get that matchup with him and Shohei. I'm having trouble remembering who was even the starter for the American League last year. I don't think it was Skubal. But the sky's the limit for the young dude. I mean, I'm knocking on wood because the way that these pitchers fall with shoulder injuries and elbow injuries, it's just a blessing that he can stay, that he stayed healthy this long. And I wish him a long, healthy, sustained rest of 2025 and beyond. But I definitely think that it's some pitchers who could catch him. But I mean, that Maddox, man, I don't know if it's a lot of pitchers that can do. They're not letting DeGrom throw 8-9 innings. They barely would let Uvalde. So I think Skubal's one guy that you can let go and let loose, and it's going to be fun to see what he does throughout the rest of the year.
Yeah, definitely, bro. I'm really excited to see it because, I mean, even if the hitters are bad, that's just better for me because I like watching great pitching. So, I mean, I'll definitely enjoy that. Speaking of great pitching and talk about great offense too, the Atlanta Braves, bro, they got two people back that they've been waiting on. We hinted at it last week. Spencer Strider and Ronald Acuna Jr. I will say Ronnie's first game back was everything I expected. I mean, I think he's just an electric player, and homering on the first pitch. I could tell you that I called it, which I did, but I know it's kind of pointless now. People are going to say, sure, you did. But I'm telling you, when we stepped into the press box, I told him, I'm like, he's going to hit a home run. And he hit a home run on the first pitch. So he's been as advertised, hitting 313, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs. We see the arm is he still has a fucking cannon attached to his right shoulder. He threw a guy out. He threw the ball from right field to second base, 102 miles an hour. So, I mean, he's come back and been everything we expected him to be. Spencer Strider, not so much. Strider has, struggled. He pitched well last game, but he still ended up taking a loss after only giving up, I believe it was 2 runs. But because it's Spencer Strider, the conversation is always going to be around velocity. And first start, his fastball averaged 95 miles an hour. Second start, 95.1, but he was still throwing 95 in that 5th inning before he was taken out of the game. And he spoke about it after the game. He said, velocity is something that right now he can't really worry about. He has to get his control back, get his command, and he was like trusting his mechanics and going from there and just being effective in that way. But he said, I'll know when I'm right because the velocity will return. And so, despite having these two dynamic players back in the lineup, it hasn't really done much for the Braves. They lost 4 of their last 5. They're 11-10 since May 4th. Let me check 1 second. I'll tell you. So they are 11-10 since May 4th, and that's with the fourth best ERA in baseball since in that span. So, I mean, the pitchers have done their best to try to hold it down, but they just haven't been able to get dubs. And so I have to ask, I'll start with you, Malik, because I want to shoot to see it on the next one. How you feeling about the Braves? I know a lot of people in the league are saying, and I said it myself, that, they could really go on a run having these guys back. But unfortunately, they're still stuck in 3rd in this division, and now they're 9.5 games back. What do you think their outlook is going forward?
Well, to start with Strider, I think he's fine. Just coming off his long layoff, you got to give him a little bit of time to get acclimated. I know, just using the example out here, when Jacob deGrom came back from Tommy John, I think the last 2 or 3 starts he had out here last season sort of helped, get his feet wet, get that heart rate going up for when he came into this year to dominate. So I think Strider will be there, man. Ronald Acuna, man, shout out him for, shout out just a culture guy. He's not black, but bringing in that NBA culture with the Ja Morant bomb home run, that was just one of the coolest things to see. Although that fastball he got was grooved worse than when Derek Jeter hit his last walk-off, I'll give him a pass for that. I think the Braves are going to need another move though. With I know they Arcia gone. So there's no shortstop. There's no solid shortstop there. And I don't think you can put all that pressure on Ronnie to be that MVP so quick. Especially with I feel like there's a lot more. There might be more depth on the Phillies roster, and there might be more depth right now in the Mets lineup than what the Braves have, especially pitching wise with the Braves. I always worry about the Braves pitching. we'll see. Those two I'm not worried about, but I think that they're going to need some help from the other troops if Atlanta's going to want to reach the playoffs and maybe even steal a division pennant.
Yeah, bro. Like you said, Arcia was DFA'd. I know Nick Allen has held it down at short, but I mean, they still don't have a solid name at short. I know they may have lately. They've been going with who they have in the farm system, and Arcia was serviceable for a time, but it was funny to not funny. It was sad to see him, really regress significantly over the pretty much since he made the All-Star team. It's been a struggle for bro. So
he was Dansby's replacement, right? I was trying to remember who was. Yeah.
Yeah, because remember they had Vaughn Grissom, but then they traded Grissom, and so RCO was the replacement. But now they're still, back to the drawing board with that. Sid, I'm gonna go to you. How you feel about the Braves in this return? And do your Mets have anything to worry about, or is this one of those situations where it's just names being added essentially?
I mean, the Mets always have things to worry about. I think the NL East is one of the better divisions in baseball. So of course they have something to worry about. However, I do think this is a best case scenario for me where Ronald Acuna does well and the Braves continue to stink. As someone who is big on pitchers and being able to actually pitch, I'm perfectly fine with Spencer Strider saying, hey, pitchability is like the thing that we're focusing on first, and then velo, because who cares if you can throw a ball fast if you can't determine where you're throwing that ball? It doesn't really matter. Like, you're just going to hurt someone. So good on him. And Malik, you said it, and I'll just plainly say it. The Mets do have more pitching depth than the Atlanta Braves. They have 3 starting pitchers on the men coming back within the next calendar month. So yeah. Do they have stuff to worry about? For sure. But like, the division will be the division. It's always going to produce 3 teams that are capable of making the playoffs. Maybe 4, definitely not 4, but hey.
Yeah, no, that's valid. You kept the hate at a minimum. I'm actually going to give you some props for that. Courtney, how you feel about the return of Strider and Acuna down here in Atlanta? Again, I know I asked you last week. But...
No, you're good. I think obviously it's been great having him back in the lineup. And I do think he's returned to form pretty quickly, especially as what I remember from that Padres series, from first pitch home run, like 1.330 something OPS, crazy like that. One thing and again, his performance has obviously been fantastic, even though the Braves have been losing. One thing though is, and again, I understand he is the superstar, but he's not one of the highest paid people on that roster. You know who is? The third baseman. And that third baseman has like a $212 million contract and has made like 5 errors over the past 3 weeks.
250.
Okay, so yeah, again, thank you for clarifying. But no, has a 250 average and a 680 OPS since May 4th. So again, I feel like maybe we're not asking enough questions about, the performance of some other people on this team. Yeah, Ronnie is going to be Ronnie. He is going to produce. The team is going to be better as a whole, as he continues to produce. But again, I really don't think that there is enough responsibility being taken for just how poorly some of the other parts of that lineup are doing. Michael Harris, Ozzy. But again, when you're getting paid Austin Riley money, I expect Austin Riley results, and I'm just not getting that as of late. So hearing Snitker also blaming the grounds crew more or less for Austin Riley's errors that's a little bullshit.
Yeah. But the thing with that is, and shout out to Mark Bowman. He's been the Braves beat writer since 2001, I believe. He corrected himself. He said Snick made a comment about the dirt, and apparently it's known around the league that the Braves have some of the worst infield dirt in the league. Like Whit, I forgot his last. Whit Merrifield, he played for the Braves the last few years. He was a utility guy. He showed a photo where his nail got ripped from his finger, and he said it's because he reached down in the dirt, and he was like, it's just shitty dirt. He's like, that's the best way to explain it. It's just people who play here know the dirt is bad, and the grounds crew.
It's such a crazy thing.
I'm going to say I've seen
why I have made 5 errors in the past 2.5 weeks. the dirt is just so bad. Bad hops because the dirt is just so bad. Like, is that the same dirt from 2022? Has the dirt changed?
Exact same dirt.
We're asking the good questions here.
Exact same dirt. Yeah.
The same dirt.
I just need to know who's the supplier of the dirt. Do I need to make some calls?
And I just want to say, like, it's one of those few moments where, like, you know, and Malik, you can attest to this, you know, being at the games early, you see how much work the grounds crew actually puts in. And like when I tell you they're out there raking, flattening it out, you know, watering it, like especially because it gets so hot here, so you don't want it to just be dry and dusty. So they'll sit there and they'll water the infield dirt like they do at every stadium. So like the Braves ground crew does an amazing job. So like I was glad he corrected himself on that one, but I mean it's one of those situations where people don't want to hear you talk about the fucking dirt, bro. Like it's like you said, Austin Riley, you're the highest paid player on this team. Like,
and just again, it's not even about the grounds crew. It's just like how do we use that as an excuse? We're all professionals here. We can't use that as an excuse.
Yeah, it's gonna
Sometimes
be interesting.
you just go through a slump. It's 162 games, regular season. You know, like that's going to happen. But I think it's a little silly to be blaming the dirt, especially.
And I'll say
the dirt
absolutely. And Courtney, I'm glad you mentioned it because one of the issues that we've had lately is Michael Harris II. I mean, you can dip his glove in gold now. Like he's gonna finally get that gold glove that he deserves. The defense has been on point. Like that's not an issue. But
a 2.8 average and a 596 OPS since May 4th. That's not gonna do it.
Anybody with an OPS under. Okay. Anybody with an OPS under 600, you know, at this point is kind of, you know, we gotta ask some questions, bro. Are you okay? Is everything all right?
Yeah.
And so, you know, that's another thing to keep your eye on. Ozzy's actually been playing well since his best friend came back. We called that too. Those two are, you know, like the Siamese twins, you know, one is rolling, the other one's usually rolling. So that was good to see him start to pick it back up. And we're going to have to see about the rest of this team because I do believe that this is not the year to lack in this division.
I mean, they're kind of, I mean, and I don't mean to be disrespectful. Again, I have seen stranger things happen in baseball. Teams come back from, you know, 9-10 games, but they're 9.5 back of the Phillies right now.
Yes.
June is kind of the gauntlet. They got 7 games against the Mets, and they end the month of June against the Phillies again. So, like, and they also, of course, have to play the Marlins, which respectfully, every team I like to think is due for one, like, slip up in there somewhere.
I call those the get right games. Like every
you might take 2 out of 3, but you're probably not taking all 3.
Right. So I think those are very series or season defining games, especially against those bottom feeder teams, because like you either get right or you don't. And the NL East, I think personally, every team, like the way to kind of measure where you are is your get right series versus the Marlins. Like whether that be because your crowd came and took over where they play, or because like you're selling out on a Tuesday. A get right series versus the Marlins, it'll do things for you.
Yeah, we're gonna see, bro. One team that we know as we continue to move forward could use several get right series against the Marlins. It's the Washington Nationals. Before we kick it to you, Sid, just real quick, I got to see him play, and like I said in my pregame video, James Woods is as advertised. CJ Abrams is a very above average shortstop. He was an all-star last year. He may make it again this year. We know Cruz. We know the starting pitcher. What's his name? His name is on the tip of my tongue right now. I can't think of his name. Yes. But brother, this has not been the rebuild that they thought it was going to be. This was the year that they were supposed to take that leap. They were supposed to get a little better.
Dante, it was never a rebuild.
It was a retool.
In 2022, it was never a rebuild because rebuilds take 5, 6, 7 years, and this isn't that.
Yeah. and as they sit here still in the cellar of the NL East.
And
But,
by the way, it doesn't take 7 years to build a decent team. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't.
Well, I'm a White
It's
Sox
already
fan, so I
impressive.
can't answer that question, brother. But yeah,
Y'all had a
I've seen
decent
others do
team,
it.
but it didn't take 7 years for y'all to get there.
I've
Y'all
seen
didn't
others
do
do
anything
it.
with
At
it.
least 7 years to make the decision about what path you want to take, right?
Y'all had an
Like,
AL
this
MVP
is
at
an
one point.
organization that is truly in baseball purgatory. Like, there is no direction there. And again, Mike Rizzo has been in his role with the Nats since 2009. You would have to think, you and I, as all of us, as not only fans, but as stewards of the game to a degree, you and Dante, you and Malik, going to the ballparks and getting to cover the game, you would really think, hey, maybe it's time, that they start thinking about, some new leadership. I don't think, again, I've said it once and I'll say it again. I don't think these people care about winning games. They won in 2019. That was enough credit for them. It bought them enough credit with, people in that area that give a shit about baseball for at least 10 years. I said the same thing about the Rangers. The Rangers are doing the exact same thing. That's what there's a few exceptions, like the Dodgers, who won once and they really like winning because you know why? Winning is very profitable. Yes, it costs a lot of money, but winning is still very, very profitable.
Especially when your winner is probably the biggest cash cow in American baseball history.
Right.
One Mr. Shohei Ohtani. So yeah, winning probably does make things a lot easier on the checkbook over there for the Guggenheim group. I will say. When we look at this Nats team, though, not only are they kind of disappointing, but on paper they're fine. But when you look at the guts of this team, and this is what Ken Rosenthal of all people highlighted, is that your major talents, they are represented by guys who don't want to play ball with low paying franchises. Scott Boras represents 2 of your 3 biggest guys, and from what I understand, they have been Rock Nation has been in has represented CJ Abrams, and they've been in negotiations since like 2024 for an extension. That doesn't feel tangible or real. I'm willing to eat words on that later, but like that just doesn't feel like something that's in that direction. Yeah, so I'm concerned, confused. The Nats, they're just not doing it for me. Yeah, Malik, how do you feel about this bottom feeding situation here?
I mean, they're letting the young guys play, so I don't want to say that this is like the make or break season for them, but I do agree that they could be in line for some changes. I mean, you've seen Woods get better. You've seen throughout his since last season when he came up, he's gotten better. CJ's steady, still an all-star, still performing like an all-star. Dylan Cruz, he was, I believe, he was batting like 180. He was getting his stolen bases, but he an oblique injury took him out, so he's out for a while. And I want to say their biggest free agent ad was Nate Lowe. Acquisition was Nate Lowe. You get a good, solid solid Gold Glove veteran in there, but that's not turning you around in the NL East. So I don't know. That division's tough. It's going to take them spending a lot to me to get competitive and to catch up with the Mets, to catch up with the Phillies, and to catch up with the Braves. Those teams have certified stars. Like, the way the way the Nationals try to do it with all the young talent, I don't think that it can compete with what the Braves can bring. Although the Braves are a team that they built that. The Braves built what they have with most of those guys. But the Nationals, they haven't had guys come out. Cruz was the number 3 pick, number 2, 3 pick. He was going to come up regardless of where he's at. And then, like you guys said, you got Woods and you got Gore, and you got Abrams from San Diego. So that's not even nationals. They're not home. There's no homegrown talent to make up for the lack of spending. Like you said, winning gets they get comfortable winning. I'm sitting here watching on my screen the Rangers who went cheap on a closer, just a pinch hit home run to Bo Bichette while they're getting one hit. Um, so I don't see the Nationals being severely truly competitive anytime soon unless baseball puts teams' names in a hat and moves them out of the NL East.
Yeah, I feel you. Y'all gotta apologize. I mean, I gotta apologize. I just poured one of the worst beers I've ever poured in my life, and it was so frustrating that I had to step away for a second. Sid,
Well,
don't
okay,
judge
now
me.
I gotta know what beer. Are we allowed to say?
Yeah,
No.
let's say
No,
Are we
no,
allowed to
not
do that?
taste wise. No, not taste wise. Like the actual pour itself was horrible.
Mr.
Like
Al.
No, but still, like we obviously know what I do for a living. Like,
Yeah.
what beer?
no,
Like,
it was an IPA. It was a hopsecutioner. So
okay, so like because I have like this is so random, and y'all know about my job. I had
Yeah.
there's a beer tap at my job. No matter no matter what I do with that beer tap, it always pours like terribly. Like it could be new, it could be the middle of the keg, the end of it. It's always a terrible pour, no matter what. So it's just like I need to know if this happens to other people too, so that I feel better about this. And
you are
like,
not alone, brother.
and it's crazy because like I don't drink either, so like I am not pouring these beers for myself. Like the universe is just telling me like, hey, bro, stop doing what you're doing.
Yes, no, it's so bad. I'm not even gonna show you the cup, bro. It's terrible. But no, it's about that time. You know, every week we come and we bring you the series that we want to watch this weekend. We got a lot of good baseball. I'll actually be out at Truist. I'll kick it off with the Braves playing the Boston Red Sox, and this is a great time for the Braves to be playing the Red Sox because the Braves have been, like I said, up and down, mainly down, and the Red Sox have just been down. They just got swept by the Milwaukee Brewers. Rafael Devers has been on fire, but unfortunately, it's just been the Rafi Devers show, and that's about it. So, great timing. I gotta check the probables, but I mean, if you're the Braves at this point, it don't fucking matter who's. You need to start stacking wins, bro. Like you said, Courtney, you're 9.5 games back in this division, in a division that you know is tough. That you know that one of these teams, Philly already kind of had their mini run, but between the Phillies and the Mets, one of them is going to get hot. We know this. This happens every year. Every year, one of them just gets scorching out of fucking nowhere. So if you're the Braves, this is a series where you have a team coming into town, licking their wounds, fresh off a sweep. It's time for you to go take 2 out of 3, or at least try to get or get a sweep yourself. But I mean, 2 out of 3 is obviously the goal because you want to win the series. But if you're Atlanta, you gotta start bagging up some sweeps, like for real. You really have to, because you don't want to get to a point where that lead gets to double digits. And of course, as I say this, watch, they're going to be down double digits in the division and somehow storm back and make a wild card or make it to the last week of the season, just because that's the way the NL East is. But I think for this weekend, this is going to be a good series to kick off your weekend. A lot of good baseball. And game 1 is going to be tomorrow night when you see, well, you'll be watching this on Friday, but game 1 will be Friday night at Truist Park. Braves versus Red Sox. That's my series for the weekend. Courtney, who you got?
Yeah, obviously you guys know how much I am a Royals and Tigers fiend, so that was the series that I went with. Friday, it's looking like Casey Mize versus Seth Lugo, who is returning from an IL stint for right middle finger inflammation. Pardon me. Saturday, we're gonna get a gem of a matchup. We got Tarek Skubal versus Michael Wacha on Saturday, and then Sunday, Keter Montero versus Chris Bubich. And again, I kind of just want to highlight him a little bit, talked about him a little bit earlier in the episode, but I really wanted to wait until now because obviously everyone's going to want to watch Skubal on Saturday. But I do highly encourage people who may not necessarily watch Royals baseball to tune in for that start on Sunday. He's having an elite start to his season, 1.47 ERA, 1.06 WHIP, 2.70 FIP, which is 8th in the big leagues right now. And depending on which WAR or B WAR you like to use, he is somewhere between 2nd or 7th. Again, just depends on if you like to use F WAR or B WAR. But yeah, he's crushing it right now. So definitely worth tuning in to that series this weekend. And also, this Tigers offense is very good. The Royals offense is not very good. So I'm really hoping that we see Jack Caglione very soon. Very, very soon. I know he just got up to AAA. I'm not saying to rush it, but if he could get there sometime by like late June, I would be a happy camper.
If that man is great, I'm going to be very upset. Very upset. Very upset. Malik, who you got this weekend, bro?
Oh man, this weekend I love seeing a team like the Cardinals come to town because they just have one of the best, most fun fan bases in the league, and they're on fire. I believe after today, they won the series against the Orioles. They're like 18-5 over their last 23, 24 games, playing amazing. And by the looks of things, I think they have a chance to put an early fork in the Texas Rangers, sort of how they just did the Baltimore Orioles, who were America's sweethearts coming into the season. Mason Wins balling. The pitching staff with Sonny Gray has just been amazing for him. I want to say Jacob deGrom Day will be Saturday, and then of course the dreaded noon Roku start on Sunday. But I think it'll be a fun watch. The Cardinals always bring out, like I said, they bring out all the fans, and it'll be a lively weekend in Globe Life. Rangers got to score. In the off, I don't know what turns this offense around, especially after getting one hit shutout by the Toronto Blue Jays.
At home.
Not at yeah. So day off for them day off for both teams, I believe. But Thursday, so it'll be fun. Cardinals versus Rangers.
No, definitely. All right, Sid, wrap us up, bro. What's the last series for this weekend?
Oh man, I feel like I'm gonna regret saying this on wax. But
this is hilarious. When you said it in the group chat, we all had the same reaction. But go crazy, bro. It's your world.
Yeah. I'm all ears.
So like, I really like baseball. Like, I'm not kidding when I say I really like baseball. And when you really like baseball, you find yourself looking at things like your favorite pitcher, Jose Soriano, versus one of your favorite third basemen, Jose Ramirez, and you see that Jose Ramirez has a 1700 OPS against Jose Soriano. So when you gambling degenerates hit my line and put in Jose Ramirez for a home run because he's 3 for 5 with him on there, just remember that again. And then when the future of Anaheim, Zach Neto and Logan O'Hoppe are also doing their things to a 757 OPS for Zach Neto versus the starting pitching of the Cleveland Guardians. So yeah, there's a lot to look forward to when you really like baseball. And please don't make fun of me for liking baseball this much.
Hey, nah, bro. I mean, as we call ourselves the yappers, I mean, I think sometimes we got to give people some series that are just really strictly baseball driven. There's no real narrative. Like you said, outside of you like random niggas on the team, which is perfectly fine. You know, that's okay.
Baseball's amazing, man.
No, it really is, and I'm glad we're actually getting into summertime because I mean, I know a lot of people like to call it the dog days of summer because baseball is the primary focus, but for us, this is kind of perfect. It's a lot of good young talent. We got some vets that are surprising us. Your boy DeGrom is still doing this thing, but
no more early season slumps. Once we got 2 days, when June starts, it's put up or shut up because you try to make some extra money and get on that all-star team.
No, facts. Like you said, once you hit June, it's no more early slump. It's like your ass is slumping. Like, what's going on? Let's figure this out. So,
and it's even crazier that they give all-star bids based off of like the first 25% of the season because that's the only reason Orlando Arcia or Mason Wynn have ever started an all-star game over Francisco Lindor.
My brother in Christ, you can ask Malik. I think we went to every person in Major League Baseball and asked him while we were at the All-Star game, why is this shit on a Tuesday? Like, there's so many things wrong with Major League Baseball's All-Star game. Like, and I get, like, baseball may not be the party sport like the other, NBA and everybody else, and they have their events and everything, bro. But you got to be shitting me, bro. Tuesday.
You have a stadium full of people who are getting drunk to see people do amazing things. How is baseball not like the What?
Bro, imagine going to the home run derby, getting hammered, and you got to get up and go to work tomorrow. Like
that sounds like
it's so many things wrong with this.
Like, literally, I went to the All-Star Village like every day. It was here. Okay, it was hot as hell. Okay, but I went, had a great time. Mind you, I live in downtown Dallas, which is like 40. I mean, really, it's like 25 minutes, but with traffic, it's like 40 minutes from the park. Okay,
yeah,
every day doing that, and then I'm like, after doing that for so many days, the lead up to the events, I'm like, okay, I'm kind of tired, But then Monday comes around, and then you're like, okay, well, it's the home run derby, and then the freaking game is on. Like, it's an exhausting week of events, and like club, another club, no sleep, playing. Why is it on like? I'm just trying to think. Maybe I'm selfish because I be liking to go out. That shit needs to be on Saturday.
Yeah, no, the justification.
The derby on Friday, the actual All-Star game on Saturday. And then Sunday, travel day back home, whatever you want to do. They need to sort that out.
Yeah, I'd be satisfied if they had Derby Sunday night, game Monday, like something.
Yeah, because the justification we got was that the schedule, basically, because if you notice, a lot of teams play leading up to that weekend, and so it's not like the NBA where games stop on Thursday. And then everybody gets that time off.
Like this is a prison of their own making.
100%. 100%.
You have the foresight to know that this event happens every year. So simply change the schedule.
Because for me, I think I would like it. I would like an adjustment. Yeah, I would like an adjustment from Friday to Tuesday, or that Saturday to Tuesday, Friday to Tuesday. Started on Thursday. Like prime example, the HBCU Swingman game, which is a dope event. Have that shit on Thursday.
Yep.
Futures game on Friday. Derby Saturday, game Sunday. Take your ass home.
Yeah, like starting Wednesday, ending Sunday. Like that's the perfect sequence of events. But Monday,
and then we start series up again on Wednesdays. Yeah, that would be perfect. Just like opening day.
Yeah, it's also typical for fans, right? Like people have jobs still. Like
a Wednesday start. That's not bad.
Monday and Tuesday. And then likely, like, you're obviously going to be at the game on Tuesday, so you're taking off Wednesday too. You're essentially asking fans to take off the front half of a work week, which is when, most businesses required. People aren't really getting those days off,
Yeah.
It's tougher to get those days off.
It's the same. This is the same sport that has 120 starts. So, I mean, obviously, they don't give a fuck.
On Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, but no, it's gonna be fun.
I love a good afternoon matinee. Please don't ever take those away, Rob.
I love my sport so much.
You will have to cry a 1:20 p.m. start for my cold dead hands. Okay.
A 1:10 start in June. Oh man.
Yeah.
Cinema.
Be done with baseball by 3:30. Oh man, they cook with the pitch clock. Oh my goodness.
Especially if it's an outdoor game. Listen, having years, I'm passed out in my freaking hotel bed by like 3:40.
Yo, perfect day, like 82 degrees, a little bit of cloud cover. Oh man.
Yep.
Well, as a fan, I will still hate the pitch clock for the next few years. I won't let that go. I just won't let it go. I can't. Working the game is perfect. I get there. First pitch at 7:10. We in the what's it called? The post game presser room at about 9:30. I'm in my car about 10:15. I can rock with that. But I mean, as a fan, no, I don't mind the drawn out day while I'm out there. But no, like I said, 4 great series for y'all to look at. We are getting excited about All-Star. We're gonna start to hear some things, and we'll be able to let y'all know if we're gonna be able to be in the building and get some great coverage for y'all, like we do in our respective cities. But it'll actually be an opportunity for Malik to come to Atlanta, and that'll be dope, and it'll be great. As usual, bro. Thank y'all for tuning in. And anything you want to hear from us, any questions you have, we were about to launch our segment, Ask the Casual, but our casual, his schedule didn't line up with today because, we still have some things to do. So we'll get that to you and we're going to get that going. But no, like we always say, if you have anything you want to hear about, anything on your mind about baseball, hit us up. We're all available and we will bring it to the show. We have no problem. We definitely want to be more fan friendly and have it be interactive. If I can, I'll start getting some call-ins. You can call my phone and I'll just record it. Fuck it. Like, I don't care. But no.
Long time listener, first time caller.
Yeah, no, we definitely gonna keep having fun with it, man. It's always great to link up with you guys. You know where to follow my good people at See It Slide Park.
Media is so back.
Follow my boys, See It Slide Park _team mill 1-800-CALLER-BRO. You know where to follow me, October Zonte. And as usual, follow the Barber's Chair at Barber's Chair Co. on Twitter and Instagram. Subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com, Barber's Chair Network. We have 4 tiers, all very affordable. The highest one is $10. You blow $10 on way less. Come shop with us. Show us some love. You can get anything Barber's Chair merch related at the bcnetshop.com. And for everything Barber's Chair, from every podcast we have, our articles, editorials, in-stadium videos, Bears OTAs. Make sure you check us out at the bcnet.com. That's all we got for you today. We'll be back next week. Again, I'm Dante Miles. Thank you for watching the High and Outside podcast. Y'all be easy.